Good morning. How are you? It is very exciting news. We have to remember that before Omicron came along, we fully expected that vaccination would not put an end to this pandemic, but certainly bring normality to us much faster because the vaccination was noticeably diminishing transmission. What Omicron did was compromise the vaccine's ability to diminish the ability to prevent infection. As you noted, it's still very, very good at preventing hospitalization and death, but not that great at preventing infection. This Omicron specific vaccine restores the ability to prevent infection and transmission, so that is exciting. Yeah, I think it's possible. It depends on who gets it and how many people get it. And it's still unclear whether this will be authorized at all and whether, when it's authorized, if it'll be authorized just for high risk people or for everybody. I hope it's for everybody. Let's say that we have the same uptake for this formulation as we did for the first couple of formulations. Well, that's extraordinary. It means that the ability of the virus to have a foothold in the population, at least for many months, will be severely compromised. So the fear of breakthrough infections will be smaller, much smaller. And right now we have a crisis in many sectors of insufficient workers, especially in healthcare, because people are just too sick to come into work. They're not dying, they're not being hospitalized, but they're too sick to come to work. This will probably change that. And so imagine, so many businesses and sectors no longer afraid to be open. Will the mask mandates be in place? Probably in many places until the numbers really come down heavily and until the pandemic is quashed in many parts of the world. But the fear will be very much compromised. Ye- Well, many things can always go wrong. Among them, a new variant emerges that supersedes Omicron. Even right now, BA2, the subvariant of Omicron, which is supposedly dominant in many parts of Canada, is being superseded by something, probably BA4 or BA5. It looks like this vaccine still will be effective against these Omicron subvariants, but a new thing may come around again. We can't predict the future. All we can do is, plan for the present and for the immediate future. Also, we don't know how long this kind of immunity will last. It looks like at least 6 months, probably more. We don't know for sure. But we can say is at least we're keeping people really out of the hospital and out of the morgue extraordinarily well, and now we have the ability to curtail transmission extraordinarily well. I'm excited by this, and I'm excited by the prospect of getting vaccination for kids under 5. Those two things I think will be game changers. That's a huge question. And public psychology has been the great confounder in all of this. It's been managed by messaging, managed by media, managed by public health communications. There does seem to be this attitude that the pandemic is over. It's not over. It's more manageable now because vaccination keeps us out of the hospital and out of the morgue to a large extent. But there are people who are still immunocompromised and who still will suffer, and there's still many breakthrough infections, some of which lead to severe outcomes. So public psychology will be an issue, and I think the way that we end up talking about this vaccination, who needs it, what the safety profile is, what the effectiveness is, will matter a lot. We have a lot to overcome here because there's so much misinformation, misunderstanding of how the previous formulations affected people that that mountain has to be chipped away at before people are ready to receive fresh information about a fresh a fresh formulation. And by the way, this is just the next generation of COVID vaccines. There'll be more coming, including probably intranasal ones that really curtail transmission well, and possibly a pan-coronavirus vaccine, which will account for all possible variants. That's still theoretical, but these are things people are working on. My pleasure. Thank you.